It's your girl again, Nelly Usman. I am back, flesh and blood. Please, today is another day, and it is 2024. The year we all been waiting for. It is here now, and we're going to just see how we're going to enjoy ourselves in this channel. Create any content I can create concerning immigration, concerning life here in Canada, in Saskatoon, and any other place. Travel, advice on jobs we can start up, or businesses we can start up, or anything that gives us improvement in our stay in Canada and those who are about to migrate here. In this channel, we talk about life and every other thing here in Canada and here in Saskatoon, because I'm based here in Saskatoon, so most of my stories will be about here in Saskatoon and life around us. So I will dive into this video today and just make you guys see some few things that happen around me. So I'm here with my band on my hair, so relax and sit back with your popcorn like I always say and enjoy this video with me. Kids said they want to make me up, so I will allow them do that while the video is going on. I don't know if that's going to distract us on this video, but let's see how it's going to play out. So this is my last daughter, and she's trying to do something on my face. Oh God, help me. I saw a video some days ago. I think it's about a guy or a man who has had some experiences in traveling out of the country. Maybe he lived abroad or something. I really don't know his background, but I could presume from how he was speaking like he has lived in one of this Western world, and he was giving his advice in regards to people who want to Jakpa. We all know what Jakpa is. Make I talk for pidgin English. Jakpa now when we want to leave our country of origin. The man was trying to just advise people in regards to that kind of venture. I was saying that you have to you have to think very well before you decide on that. I think his views, I have some queries about it. Well, that's my own take to that. I don't know about you. From my experience so far, I think anybody that decides to Jakpa or decides to take that route to leave his or her home country, the person definitely should have a reason. And Jakpa is not a bad idea. Mostly for a situation where we know the country we live in, so many things are not going right with us concerning the economy, concerning security, concerning lifestyle, concerning cost of living. It's a lot on anyone coming from my country. And when I say my country, I mean Nigeria. A lot of people feel it's not a good thing to decide to travel. Some feel it's a good idea, some also feel it's not a good idea. But for me, I have 3 reasons why I feel it's a good idea for anybody to think of leaving his or her home country. Mostly if you have a plan.
Don't really know your potential. That's when you leap, because those environments limit your potential. Have you ever heard of anybody, or rather out of 100 people you know that live in the UK, how many of them are entrepreneurs? All of them go to look for work. That's the first limitation.
It's hard to become an entrepreneur there.
You cannot.
You cannot, or it's difficult.
It's difficult. What are you going to do? How are you going to start? Which market are you going to open?
You know, sometimes when it doesn't work for you, you feel it's like that everywhere. It's not like that everywhere, please. If you have the mind of going into your own business when you travel out of the country, my dear, do so well by going after your dream. It is worth the while. It is worth the trouble, because you have so many support. They encourage people to go into their own business. So saying that you cannot be an entrepreneur and you want to work for somebody, well, for me, that's not completely true. It takes a lot for one to go into even your own business in Nigeria. It takes a lot for you to go into your own business. And I also think it's something you have to put in here to do that. And here, as far that business has credibility and it has a good business plan, and you have all the everything in place to run that business, you will do so well. People go into hair making, people go into food making, people go into food processing, people go into digital, anything you want to do. So I don't see any reason why someone would just say going into entrepreneurship is difficult. Because it takes one a lot of years to start up one own business in Nigeria and make it. So I don't know why one should not also think of doing that here and allow it grow with time. Rome was not built in a day, so you have to put in the work for it to be successful. You can't just sit after 2 days and you tell yourself, or 1 month and you tell yourself you want to make it in whichever business you desire to go into. So we should all get that clear in our heads and have the mindset that we can go into our own business if we want to. Entrepreneurship is doable and workable here in Canada and in any Western world if you put your mind to it. And we've seen situations where people have done so well for themselves. So someone is sitting and saying this is off it. Well, for me, that's not true. So that's my take on that. And I feel we should have a rethink if we're already deciding not to go into our own business because we're coming into the Western world. No. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, like I said, the government supports people going into their own business, which is a good idea. Back home in my country, you have your idea in your head and you don't have any support from anybody. You source for funds yourself. The working environment is even difficult. No light, no power, no good workforce, no resources around you. Finance is also a problem. You go to the bank, they are telling you one story or the other. But right here, it's not like that. So when people talk like this, I just wonder.
Look very carefully before you leave. So 3 things I've mentioned now. 1, potential. You can't be an entrepreneur. 2, your salary is not going to increase any marginally for the next 30 years. 3, your costs very high.
So he was talking about leaping before or look before you leave. Like I think the first one he spoke about was about entrepreneurship. Like going into a foreign country is so difficult for you to start your own business and to do things on your own. Well, my view about that is that it's not completely right, because we have a lot of people doing their own business or their own thing here in Canada or in the Western world. So many people are going into their own business and the government supports that. Like they give you you get full support from the government. It is not an issue to have to write up a proposal and you are being given support from the government.
In a place today, they're paying you £2,000 a month. 25 years from now, they're paying you £3,000 a month. So in 25 years, the growth in your salary is just £1,000. So look very carefully before you leave. No problem, number 3. They're paying you £2,000 a month. You convert it to naira, 1.6 million naira. That looks very good. Then you now go and look for a house to rent, and you see a space that is not as big as this. Just this room, maybe half of this room, and they tell you it's £700 a month. That's not inside central London. When you're inside central London, Manhattan in New York, a space like this is almost $4,000 a month.
Another thing I saw in this video, and I will refer to it, is what we're being paid, like what you receive as paycheck. Cost of living is quite high. I agree with that very well. But at the same time, if you have the money, if you have the resources to pay for your expenses, then you can do well to go about that. Back home in my country, we have so many issues as far getting resources, like getting the money to pay for these things. It is not even available. A lot of us work as civil servants, or the people that could afford to do whatever they want to do back home are politicians. We all know that. And if you are in an office where you have money to steal, if it's what you are being paid as salary, as in what you earn, we all know that you cannot even live on that to the end of any month. But right here, you can afford to live with what you are being paid as take home, and you live comfortably with your family. Like there's food available, and well, the only thing I think we mostly spend money on here in the Western world, whether in the UK, whether in Australia, whether in Canada, whether in the US, is more of accommodation. Is always very on the high side. So what do you do about that? Moving into a new country where you know your resources are not so very high then, and maybe you've not gotten the kind of job you want to get, and maybe you are not so well paid yet, and you're not settled yet. it will be so normal, or it will make a lot of sense if you go for an accommodation that is not so expensive and in an area that is quite affordable. You can't go to Nigeria, you want to go and live in Lekki. Anybody that is living in Lekki in Nigeria knows that person is a big boy. So how can I come to Canada and go and live in Ontario, in Toronto, in Vancouver, when I know those cities are expensive? Go to an area that is quite affordable to live in. Accommodation there are cheap. There are so many places here in Canada, the accommodation are very cheap. You get places for 1,000, agree. If you take that out from your paycheck every month, it doesn't seem you will not have money to feed. And doesn't seem you will not have money to pay your bills. So say that you, after paying your bills, after paying accommodation, you don't have anything. Well, that's not so true. I don't agree to that. Because you see a lot of people talk about these things and they don't analyze it critically, like look into it the way you're supposed to look into it. We all know that living in the foreign world is quite high, but cut your coat according to your cloth, not according to your size. Make we all they forget this idea of living a life that you know that you cannot even afford back in your country. Before you're able to live that kind of life back in your country, you have worked for someone for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And you come into a foreign country and you want to start living like that just today. Tell me now, how that kind of thing they happen? Make we they see they use our head. You come another country, you never even balance. You never even know yourself. You never even get better work. You dey go live for place. Please, allow me make I talk this thing first. My head on the spark. You go live for where you know say they expensive. And you go come dey complain. Who you dey complain for? I see cheap environment no dey to live. Everywhere in Canada is safe. Quote me on that. Everywhere in Canada is safe. So if you are deciding to live in any part of Canada, know that it is safe for you. And when it is safe for you, what's the next thing? Go for accommodation that is not so expensive. No go rent new house. They think say, I be big. Who you they want shakara for? Who they look your face? Who even know what you carry? You cannot come into a place after first 1 month when you they come, you they go rent accommodation worth 2,000. How much is your take home? But if you rent accommodation worth 1,000 or worth 1,002, you can afford to do other things with yourself, and you'll be able to live a comfortable life. And after a while, plan to buy your own house. I will go into that video next time. But for now, let's concentrate on this thing. As I listen to the video, I was just thinking to myself, I said, how can somebody just sit in his house and just sit down to discourage people? What is in our country in Nigeria? We all know how difficult it is. Even those that are doing so well before, oil servicing, bankers, they are all of us are complaining. Even the politicians, even though that they are stealing money, where do they get those monies they are flaunting around? We have turned everybody in my country to be a content creator. You never notice them. All of us are content creator.
Nice.
Because no work. At least in Canada you go see work. If you are ready to, you get a job. But in Nigeria, with your degree, with everything when you study, mechanical, engineering, architecture, accountant, everybody there for street, they look for work.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
Whereas you come to a country, nobody they look your face. Nobody ask you where you come from. As far you can deliver, they give you the job. Whether government, whether private.
Oh my God!
So why somebody go sit down, they discourage people? Even if the accommodation is expensive, start from somewhere. So I was listening to the video and the Oga, make I they call her Oga because he looks like a very elderly or has an experienced person. He said something about getting help, right? So I will allow you people listen to the video and hear that part.
My wife's cousin just left us. She went back to London yesterday. When she had her second daughter, stopped work for 6 months. When I asked her, she was like, look, the cost of hiring a nanny to take care of my daughter was almost the same as my salary. So what was the point?
So that means they have standard price you must pay a nanny.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't just bring in someone like, yeah, we can do it here. You can just bring in someone and pay the person anything.
In fact, some people have gone to jail for taking somebody from Nigeria. You know, like you Igbos. Yeah. When you carry, they give you your nephew or your niece. You now say, I'm going to London. Okay, come along with me. And then that person now gets to London and now is exposed. Person now walks into the police station that my auntie brought me to London, and all they are giving is sending £100 to my parents every month. That they have been it is slavery. That person is going straight to jail. So even this your £2,000-3,000, as you begin to have children, you suddenly discover.
So in regards to getting help, in my country, we all know this thing. Mostly some particular culture, like the Igbo culture, they usually give out maybe their last child or a cousin or somebody that is not doing so well. They will give out their child to any relative that is doing so well to take care of. Some they decide to help the child with maybe education, or decide to take the child to learn a trade or something. Now that child lives with you, and the child is helping you out with some things, and at the end of the day, maybe when the child is grown, the child can leave your home and all that. It's not a bad idea, but what happens to the future of that child? It's a culture, it's something that we are used to, but is it good? Question. A lot of people have gotten it wrong. A lot of people have gotten into trouble taking young children into their homes, and something went wrong. They call it child abuse, whether you like it or not. You're taking a child into your home and you're not giving the child the basics. Like some people take those children as their own. That one is fine. Some people take these children as slaves. Like they bring them in and they don't give them what they're supposed to give to them as a child under their roof. We're not well cared for. They don't eat well. They don't clothe them well. They don't even take them to school. Some just keep them at home to be helping them take care of their kids. Is that right? We all know that's not right. And these are things we are supposed to be frowning against. We are supposed to be frowning against those things. Right here in the Western world, you don't take any child into your home. A child is a child. If it's an adult, agreed, it's an adult, and that adult will be paid at least the minimum wage. But for a child, is a child supposed to work to earn money, or parents to be earning money on that child's head? No. When something is bad, we should call it bad. You carry somebody else's child into your home and you're not taking care of the child very well, and you'll be sending money to the parents of the child to the detriment of that child. That child grows up and is nothing. If that child maybe ended up in a family that never cared for him or her, some go into the street and start doing what we all know they know how to do best. Some regret all the whole process. Some get involved in crime or whatever. Some get involved in accidents and end up in the hospital or something. These are things that happen and nobody frowns against. But in the foreign world, it is not permitted. It is illegal. Completely illegal. If you're taking anybody into your home, you're taking an adult, and that adult would be paid their wages. So if you know you cannot pay wages, take care of your home yourself. Do it yourself. I've learned so much here. I can paint, I can cook, I can clean, I can do electrical, I can do plumbing, I can do cut hair, I can make hair, I can do everything. If I don't want to do it, I will pay the services of somebody to do it for me. And so when I pay, I value the person. In a situation where we keep people in our homes and we talk to them anyhow and we disregard them and nobody frowns against it and we feel it's normal, no, it's not normal. No, it's not right. When something is bad, call it bad, please. We should not paint it like it's good because some people are gaining from it. In this country, I did a video about men not coming to Canada and all that in regards to stuff like this. Because when you have a helper in the house, you don't help your spouse to do anything. Your spouse take care of the children. Your spouse bathe the children because you have a helper that will take the child to school, cook, clean, wash. And so the men cannot do much. But here in Canada, the men are involved in their family. The woman is involved in her family. You don't keep your child for anybody to come take care of. So what are we talking about here? A worker deserves his or her wages. Pay as you go. everybody is respected. Everybody is a professional. Everybody is a skilled laborer. Even if I'm coming to your home to just help you put spoon into your mouth, feed you, support worker, care worker, whatever it's called, I'm regarded as somebody. I'm regarded and I'm respected as somebody. In a situation where we get cheap labor from cousins, nephews living with us and say, I'm taking care of the child, I'm taking the child in school, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. All fallacy. I'm not saying there are some that are not doing it right. There are some people that are so lucky. They go into a home and they are well cared for. But a lot are not getting it right. A lot are getting involved in one problem or the other. Who takes care of those children? We all know the situation in our country. We all know how bad it is. Another thing I just realized he did not say in this video. In the foreign world, in the US, in Canada, and also in UK, United Kingdom, the government pays something as child benefits to parents to take care of the child. Is that obtainable in my country? If you like, you have 10 children. Does the government help you with any support? But right here in Canada, it's obtainable. If you come in as a permanent resident, you are eligible for child care benefit. Canada Child Benefit. They pay you every month. I think every child is entitled to, depends on the age of the child though, it's entitled to like 500 or more. And this is what the government pays. Is anyone being paid that in my country? If you are being paid that, please put that in the comment section for me to see. How many of us are being paid for having children? Young children, oh, that is our own child that we're taking care of. And the government says, take this 200 naira to help for the upkeep of your child. Did they also say in his video, if what's it called? Education is free? In my country, back home, is education free? But right here, education is free. To the best of education. To excursions, to sport activities, to anything they do, it is free. Nobody is asking you for a dime. But back in my country, is it free? Is it? So why are we not calling a speed that big? At least if it's only that I'm able to gain from 0 to 18 years of the life of my child, the government has tried. Because the kind of education I will pay for in my country, I cannot, if I should be a top politician to be able to afford that kind of education in my country compared to what I'm getting here for my kids. So when we are comparing things, please go into everything. Talk about the good and the bad. Don't just talk about the bad completely. I'm not saying in total that the Western world is good, no, or completely good. They have their flaws. They have some rules that we're not okay with. But does that mean they are completely bad? No, they are not. They're just, they help. They try as much as they can to see that everybody is being cared for. To the least person on the street is being cared for. To those people we see on the street looking like they don't have food or they don't have shelter, the government will tell them, go and look for a place, we'll pay for it. They have organizations who do that, who care for people on the streets. They have shelters. They provide homes free for people to live in during the winter, during even the summer. Is there anything like that available to us as Nigerians? So why are we not saying the truth now? Why are we not saying the truth? Why would you always just talk about one side and leave the other side? Please, if you want to Jakpa, if you have the mind to Jakpa in 2024, I beg, start to the run. Put it into motion. And the best way to come, if you know other ways are getting too difficult for you, come in as a student. Yes, it will not be easy. Initially, it will not be easy. But with time, you will find your feet. Like I said earlier, Rome was not built in a day. gradually, you will see yourself at that place that you want to be. Be focused, know what you want, have a plan, start putting everything together and run with it. You can never overestimate what you're doing to yourself or underestimate it. Jakpa is not a sin. If you know where you are living or what you are doing in your country, you're not comfortable with it, you don't like the lifestyle, you don't like some things, you want to maybe upskill, you want to change career, you want to live a better life, you want your children to see a better world, please, Jakpa. If you come into Canada and you become a permanent resident, maybe after being a student, you become a permanent resident, and you finally become a citizen, you have the eligibility and the pathway to go into 36 countries of the world without a visa. Did he also add that to his video? Did he? So, please, my people, don't just look one direction. Think of the other good sides of a thing. You say there are two sides to a coin. Look at the good and the bad. If the good side outweighs the bad side, you go for the good one. Because I'm very sure you have your reason why you're thinking of Jakpa. Don't allow anybody deter you. Oh, this is our makeup. So guys, how do I look? This makeup looks beautiful. All thanks to my darling daughter. She did very well. Well, we are getting there gradually. All this she learned on YouTube, and I hope she will upskill herself more. I'm her lab rat, so she uses me to practice some kind of things. You guys should just tell us, what did she not do rightly? Do I look beautiful? So we have come to the end of this video, and I know you've learned one or two things from this video. Always love, share, and subscribe to my videos. It's your girl again, Nelly Usman, and I'll be back again to share another video in regards to anything Jakpa, anything travel, anything Canada. I make videos from here in Saskatoon, Canada, and at this time I will say bye-bye. Thank you for watching, and God bless.